So one of our favorite things to eat in the winter is soup, of course. And my sister gave me this recipe for bread bowls, and they're just absolutely amazing. So today it's a little bit rainy and cloudy, so we're gonna have some bread bowls with cheesy corn chowder, but I'm going to add some clams to it. This recipe is from my grandma, so it's kind of like a family recipe day. So to start off, I'm gonna do a double batch. This recipe makes 6 bowls, and usually someone in my family will ask for seconds, so there's never enough for seconds. So I'm gonna do a double batch. But start off with a cup and a half of water. I've got 3 cups here since I'm doubling it, but you wanna make sure it's warm water, and you're gonna want to, there's lots of degrees, I guess, of warm water. So I like to think of it as like a baby bottle warm. And you're gonna add your yeast to that. And actually there's 2 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons in one batch. So I gotta do 4 since I'm doubling it of the yeast. And then a tablespoon of sugar, or 2 since I'm doubling. I'm just gonna do it in this one, and then I'll just add that water into the bowl when I add the flour and everything. Okay, so once you get that stirred up, you just need to let it sit for a few minutes. So while that's sitting, we'll add our flour to the bowl. So I like to use bread flour because I just like the texture it gives. So the recipe is 3.5 to 4.5 cups. So I always start with the lower amount, and then you can add more. So let me make sure I'm not forgetting what I'm at. That's 3. It's hard to talk and count at the same time. Since I'm doubling, I'm gonna do 7 cups. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. And then we'll add our salt. So this is really, it's easy. 5 ingredients for these bread bowls. So there's 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, so now let's look at our yeast over here. Do you see how it's starting to bubble up? It's getting close. I'll probably just leave it like a minute or 2 more, and then I'll add it into the flour mixture. Okay, so the yeast is all foamed up. I'm going to go ahead and pour it into the bowl. I've attached it to the KitchenAid. So I always like to, sometimes the yeast gets stuck in the spoon. I don't know, I always leave the spoon in there. Okay, and then we'll add our other cup of water. For a regular batch, it's only a cup and a half. Okay, turn it to 1, and we'll let that mix till it starts coming together. And then pretty soon we'll be able to tell if we need to add more flour or not. So now that the flour's starting to go in, I'll turn it up to 2. And it's starting to pull together. I'm not sure I'm going to need any more flour. I might need to add a little bit more water. Add another tablespoon of water. Okay, so let me kind of show you. You can see down in there. Kind of hard here. Let's see. You see how it's starting to come together a little bit? And staying together, kind of sticking together. That's how you want it. There's a little bit of flour in the bottom, but it will get stirred in. And it doesn't look like it's too sticky. So I think it will be just about right. This needs to knead for 10 minutes. And then it will rest for 30 minutes. So this is what you want it to be looking like, all sticking together in one big blob. All right, so it's all done. So come together. Sorry, this angle here is not the best. My arm's blocking the view. Just get all of the dough off that you can, and just set it aside. Let it sit there for half an hour. Cover it with a clean towel, and in a half an hour we will turn them into little bowls. Okay, so our dough has risen, and we'll just punch it down here. Let me grab something real fast. Okay, so I like to use cooking spray on the counter to help it from sticking all over. So spray that down and we'll get it out of the bowl. Okay. And then I'll spray a little bit more on top to not stick. And also I'm going to spray the pan. So basically, I'm going to divide it into your bread bowls. So this would be a normal size batch, about half of it. So we'll divide this one into 6 pieces. So into half, and then into thirds. And they don't have to be perfect. It's good to try so the kids don't fight over which one they get, but okay, so it's in 6 pieces. Basically, I just kind of form it into a ball. And that's all there is to it. That one's a little small. So I'll put 6 on each pan. Okay, so I've got my 6 bread bowls. I'll continue to do that with the other half of the dough, but at this point, you spray. This is another thing you need, a spray bottle with water. So you're going to spray a few sprays on each one, and then just cover it with your clean towel and let it sit for 15 minutes this time. So I don't think I got it quite exactly in half. This is the other half, but it seems a little bigger, but that's okay. So we'll just continue dividing up the dough, form it into a little ball, place it on your pan. That one's pretty big. I'm going to actually take a little bit off and put on this small one. Okay, so then we're going to spray it with the spray bottle. And cover it with a clean towel. And let it sit there for 15 minutes. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes and I preheated the oven during this time to 500 degrees. Here's our little bread bowls. You can see they've risen, and we're gonna stick them in for 2 minutes at 500 degrees. Okay, so they baked 2 minutes. They're obviously not done, but we need to spray them with water again. So after we do this, we'll turn the temperature down to 400 and put them back in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. All right, so they've cooked 10 minutes. Check the bottom and it's starting to brown, so they're good. I like to rub a little butter on them while they're hot, and then just let them cool and they'll be ready to eat. Actually, I like to eat them when they're warm, but today we have a lot of stuff, so they're gonna have to, I don't know, maybe I warm them up in the oven a little bit right before we eat, but